We're back again with another video today.
Come on. Infinity. What are we talking about today?
War, bro. Spoiler talk. So
let's go.
Full spoilers ahead. We're going to be talking about nothing.
It's going to be
but
fucking nice.
So if you ain't seen it, you know what to do.
Bro, you need to see the movie.
See the fucking movie.
See the movie.
See the fucking movie,
See
bro.
the movie.
See the fucking movie.
See the fucking movie.
Bucket list legit.
Hey, I'm here with
T
and Jarrel. I'm not going to cover everything that happened in the movie, just what we liked, what we didn't like, give our ratings, and just talk about it a little bit.
kind of deconstruct it a little bit, you know.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Alright, so without further ado, let's get straight into it. Firstly, I just want to talk about that intro. Like, it set the whole tone of the movie. Like, what did you think of it?
Frankly, I was like, they let you know within the first 10 seconds we're getting into this.
Red alert, red alert,
They
red alert.
They weren't wasting time. They let you know. No, when we said it's starting straight after Thor Ragnarok, it's legit 100% straight after that post-credit scene.
What got me was the radio. It's just the distress beacon. People just calling out. What did they say? There was like, oh, there's families. This is not a war.
The stakes of the
situation.
situation.
Straight away, it's like we're under attack. I was just feeling it already. Straight away, feeling it.
If you didn't have any, because obviously not everybody's a comic fan like that. They just maybe go along with it because they're blockbusters. If you didn't know about Thanos anyway, this definitely let you know he's a big deal. It's not like one of the villains and then they come, they go. Thanos.
Let's go.
Problem.
Loki is standing in front of the whole Black Order, and Thanos starts talking, and he's literally just sticking it on everybody, letting them know it's the speech from the actual
from the trailer.
Yeah, it's the actual speech from the trailer.
How eerie to hear man just preaching. Man, obviously we've spoken about it off camera, but we would say that Thanos was doing a bit of a Negan like for the Walking Dead watchers. Like, he was just setting the tone straight away, let you know that this is not a game, bro. Destiny is coming, bro.
Definitely. In terms of villainy, like, do you know, the sheer presence of Thanos was like,
it was too much.
Because his aura that he brought, like, a lot of villains might be arrogant, cocky, whatever, but it was the sheer, like,
it is what
he knew in his soul what he was doing was the right thing to do, and that is it's sinister. Like, it's like
anti-heroes are always
exactly, because it's like his reality is just completely.
Even Peter Parker said that in Civil War. He's like, you're wrong, but you think you're right, which makes you dangerous.
Yeah,
it's that whole thing.
Yeah,
and Marvel has had a villain problem for a while, but Thanos is not one of those issues. Not one of those issues.
But Loki, definitely go back to Loki.
So like Loki's bartering, and the Hulk comes out of nowhere, fam. Hulk is smashing up Thanos with pure aggression, unrelenting force, banging him in the face, knocking him out. Bruv, what's my man's name?
Ebony Moore,
Ebony Moore comes up and says, "Nah, let him have his fun, cool."
Yeah.
Bruv.
Yeah.
Man's getting whacked in. Yeah, these are Hulk bangs, bruv. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hulk bangs. Thanos is still composing himself.
Yeah, he's still trying to know how to
He's
handle
catching
it.
breath.
You know what I mean? He's tactically analysing the situation.
He takes a break, and he just was like, okay, Captain America level fighting on a fucking giant scale, bro.
Yeah. Definitely, 100%.
Like, if you want to think, I'm not gonna say movie Batman, but anyone who knows about Batman in his hand coordination and the martial, like, it was like technical. Man was going for the ribs.
The first thing he did was his neck.
Yeah, he put him in the Adam's apple, like, bow. Come on, like, it was on some.
It's the knee kick. It's the knee kick that caught me still.
Yeah.
That stuck out in my mind like a madness, bruv. Just like literally, and then, bruv, Hulk is out of the game. He's out of the game.
Now we've seen this twice.
Power
we've seen this twice as well.
When you have power with like that control, it's different, because we've seen the strength of Hulk. So to see him like be overpowered by someone who can tactically
and actually
defend him and fight is like
without just pure aggression and that. It was crazy. And you know, Hulk didn't see that coming. He wasn't ready for it, and he did not want no smoke.
He didn't want no smoke.
That, bro.
One of the things that I want to talk about Loki was his last final sacrifice, because he's done it before. Like, he's done like tricks and that.
Fake Tyrese definitely.
He's done this a lot. And in the trailer, we got kind of an inkling that he was going to give up the Tesseract to Thanos. But we obviously thought typical fucking Loki.
Gonna do his little tricks and
until we see the stakes. When you actually see the stakes within the movie, you'll find out that Thor has been held. He's within the palm of Thanos, literally, literally, and his Power Stone that he now has.
Xander's gone.
By the way,
Xander's gone.
The whole planet.
That's the stakes.
No longer exist. He has the Power Stone. They didn't even need to show you that.
Wait, hold on. He killed half of Xander.
It doesn't matter.
All of Nova is finished. The Nova caused that. But you got Thor there. And Loki sees this, so obviously he gives in. First he says, do what you want with him. But that fails. He gives in. He ends up actually giving him the thing in the end. And it was like, the very last attempt that he did after he's been beat down. Everybody's been beat down.
He's still trying.
And he's trying. They're gonna go to Earth, and he's trying to do this one last. Oh yeah, I can help you. I know like when to bow down. All of that jazz. And then you can just see he gives one last look to his brother.
I think he knew he was gonna die. He was gonna try and take him out or weaken him in some way.
And that's what he did.
I felt like he just wanted a noble death, to be honest. I didn't think he actually thought he was going to be successful.
When he gave up the Tesseract, you could see that Loki knew that they had lost.
Yeah.
Because he just wanted
to die.
He wanted Thor to die. He told Loki, he told Thanos, kill him, and it didn't work.
Yeah. In my opinion, that last look, because when the way director, hats off to you. I'm an Asgardian.
Odin's
Prince of Asgard.
Yeah, Odin's son.
Freaking God of Mischief, Odin's son. As he looks into the eye of Thor, as he's on his knees, his brain has been damaged by the Power Stone, and it's like he's trying to just win it. He's giving him that last thing, like, remember this of everything that I've done. Remember this,
which was sick.
And you just see as he reveals the blade that he has under his coat, and this is one last attempt. Which unfortunately, you knew how it's going to end. You know the scales. It's like a cat and a train.
It's clear that this is not a play thing.
And that again set the mark up. Yeah. This movie is in the end game. It's stage 4. There's fatality.
We didn't even talk about Heimdall.
Heimdall's dead.
Rip Heimdall.
Didn't see that coming. Pardon the pun.
My man, in his final acts, he summoned the Bifrost using the dark magic
and sent help back.
I didn't even know he could do that, but
I didn't even know he could do that without the fucking sword, fam.
He did have the sword. He picked it up.
God damn. Well, I didn't see that.
Alright, one other thing I wanted to talk about was the Black Order, because you get along with like the sense of power that you get with Thanos, you get definitely the sense of power of his team, because a man of that caliber or a being of that caliber has to carry a team, and obviously his team is of smaller numbers, but it definitely has the same weight of all of the characters that we have in the MCU. Do you know what I mean? So it is still a very, like, all of them together, including Thanos, it's definitely collectively
strong,
is a problem. Yeah, it's just. But the Black Order himself, you get a nice introduction with Ebony Moore, is it?
Yeah, Ebony Moore, yeah.
Ebony Moore.
Voldemort,
basically. This guy.
Ralph Fiennes, you did a great job.
He's the most calm looking, sinister looking.
Yeah, he looks like a second.
But getting a thrill out of the destruction that Thanos is doing.
So calm as well.
He's also the guy Jarrel was mentioning who said, let Hulk have his fun. Because he knew the power of Thanos. And that, so we wanted, do you know what I'm saying? Like,
and even his powers were disgusting.
But his powers, like,
was
all you see man do in the movie is this, that, this, and that. And things are going nuts, like, people are going across,
flying around,
like buildings, like he will take the steel structures out of a skyscraper just like that. Like the level of even the encounter with Doctor Strange. This is later, I know this is later, but even that sets it up to the scale of the Black Order's power.
And then obviously we see Iron Man and Pepper. They're talking about, Iron Man's talking about potentially giving everything up and settling down, having kids with Pepper. It's the conversation they have in pretty much every Iron Man movie, but it is what it is.
That was a bit peak. It was very deep, man, because obviously he's talking about the kids, and peppering him. And
I think this time he genuinely believes it.
Yeah, and Doctor Strange comes in straight
But
away.
you can tell Pepper wasn't even, you know what I'm saying?
She's like,
sounds like
check
it's
shit, man.
It's an everyday thing. They hear the loud noise outside, the bumping, they're thinking, yo, what's going on out there? So they go outside, and obviously, who do we see again? The Black Order.
That was a sick shot though, because obviously people are running and that you're just behind Tony Stark, and there's bare wind blowing, no one knows what's going on. The man just like they're helping some woman up and shit. It was a different kind of. It was shot differently.
The aura was in the air as well.
Yeah, it's like something bad's happening. It was
Doctor
crazy.
Strange puts the force field up to obviously stop the whatever's going on from the ship.
Just the wind and that. Yeah.
So you see my nigga Spider-Man come through as well.
Oh yeah.
With the I'm like, oh shit, looks back.
Spider sense confirmed.
Yeah, man, he was.
Ebony Moore literally drops in straight away as he comes down, and they teleport you to the surface, and then literally he's like giving a whole speech about being Thanos' children, and you lot are blessed to die by our hands. Man,
graceful speech.
He believes in him, like in his
Graceful.
chest, like he was sick. I liked his
automatically it started off straight away.
There was a bit of comedic factor there, trying
Black
to turn into the
Dwarf.
Hulk. He couldn't, you know what I'm saying? He was
Yeah.
too shit for
Banner's
that kind of
having
Black
stuff.
Dwarf is on his way coming, and Banner's just not turning.
He
Not
can't do
happening.
it.
Like Hulk is traumatized. I don't think you understand the beating that he got. Like he's scared of Thanos at this point. Doesn't want to fight.
Yeah, that was mad.
Doesn't.
It was like
The
a fucking
hooks.
box. It was dirty, man. But yeah,
Six
so,
paths of pain, bro.
yeah, that was crazy.
Doctor Strange never even heard of Thanos, but in reality, he's actually coming for Doctor Strange because he's the one with the stone. You know,
They know about the time.
They know about the time stone and stuff,
They know
yeah.
about the Infinity Stones. Anyway.
they know exactly what they're coming for. My boss man comes down, Ebony Moore, with I've forgotten his name.
Black
Please
Dwarf.
bring it in. Black Dwarf.
Black.
He comes through, you know, talking about they basically come. It's an honor for us to be here, for you to get murdered by us. I'm just paraphrasing here. You know what I'm saying?
Because that's his thing. He's just preaching. He's like literally. He's a child of Thanos. Thanos is like his herald, bro. He just walks around declaring things. That's what he does while he's killing people, and he believes in him 100%. So
they get engulfed in a major fight. Of course,
Hulk as well, obviously trying to turn as well.
Yeah.
Banner's struggling.
Doesn't work.
Issues.
I must say, the actual quality looks really good. Like,
Time you see Tony's fucking suit, see the shit.
yeah,
Just-
man. That nanotech, boy.
I'm
That
proud of him.
nanotech.
Proud of him.
Tony has made a nanotech suit, yeah.
I thought it was like vibranium.
like
or something.
vibranium.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. When I saw the trailers, I was
yeah.
thinking, okay, so them lot, Shuri's been speaking. They sorted him out with some vibranium. He's got some shit.
Nope.
Tony is just blowing shit out of the water. Fucking nanotech.
By himself.
The suit looked fucking peng. I thought it was gonna get ruined, but the suit looked so peng, and it was just mad.
like
Came
a
out with the
symbiote.
beams.
I was like,
from
whoa.
behind, blasted,
And
Black
the
Dwarf
sounds,
straight
the
up.
vision, the audio,
Yeah,
like the
come
Dolby
straight
digital
away.
sounds round there.
I should have watched this in IMAX. I should have watched this in IMAX.
Definitely 4D.
Mad fight. So we get to see Peter Parker as well, Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? He's on the bus on the way to school.
That was hilarious.
You see the goosebumps.
First time you see Spider.
Quick, create a distraction.
Nearly
We're all
hilarious.
gonna die. We're like, oh shit. That thing, man.
But Rick in his face, he saw the spaceship, so it was the perfect thing for him to say
it
at the
was just
time.
perfect. It was great. And you see Stanley in the bus as well. I don't know if you know all those. You get to see him in there as well, which is really cool. Obviously, they end up going up into space.
It was him.
Here's where the cinematics just took over. Like,
It was
it's just starting to
Spider-Man,
get mad. Like,
Iron Man, and Doctor Strange in the
Strange
ship
has
now.
been taken.
Hulk throughout this whole time is literally Banner's just trying to reason with Hulk to get him to come out. He's not coming out.
Not coming out.
Doctor Strange had to teleport him out of the way because Hulk's traumatized. The beating that he got is not allowing him. He doesn't want any. He doesn't want anything to do with it. No fighting whatsoever.
Hulk's still a baby, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, boy.
He's like a child.
Yeah.
But anyways, the cinematic effects, bro. Oh my days.
Yeah, that was on the ship. So they're on the ship now. Tony is.
I got the same goosebumps that
Fuck,
Peter
yeah.
Parker got. I was up there. I was up there with him.
Yeah, Tony was feeling it. Obviously, he's shooting up there to try and save Peter. Peter's starting to pass out, falls off. That's when you see Tony summon
Unlock
the Iron
17A.
Spider suit. That's it. Straight away comes in. Straight away leeches onto him.
Oh, the way he
saves him.
Nanotech as well.
Nanotech
Nanotech as well.
That was
Yeah.
beautiful, man.
Days.
Yeah, so
Okay, Friday, send him home.
Oh yeah.
Oh
She's like,
shit.
oh come on.
That was funny.
The humor in this was on point.
Yeah,
Everything
on
on
there was
point.
it wasn't too much. It was
Like watching it
never
again,
on
you
point.
don't really laugh at the jokes because obviously you've heard them the first time. But
I still shed a little giggle.
yeah,
It wasn't full Ragnarok in it.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I
yeah.
mean? It's not ha every fucking 5 seconds, bro.
they sprinkled
Make
it out
jokes,
and
man.
they made it as funny as it was supposed to be for
Yeah, it
what
wasn't
the
over the
stakes
top.
allowed.
Yeah, exactly.
The humor didn't take away from any of the serious moments
Exactly.
too much.
It felt like that's how probably anyone would be in that
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
Because some things are just so
Ridiculous.
abnormal. Yeah,
Yeah.
that you just have to make a joke. You know,
It's just like,
it's mad.
really? Is that what really
It's
happening
mad.
right now?
Right, so let's jump into Thor and the Guardians' first encounter.
16.
It was like the most refreshing, but
After that battle as well.
amazing, but like, oh man, the encounter was just spectacular. The humor, it was so right. It was just like Star-Lord
Thor's
and
sick, man.
Thor was just Drax. Oh my lord, Drax, man.
Rabbit.
Drax was like,
Meet
no,
my friend Tree.
this is a man. Like,
Like you're a dude. This is a man.
man said
He's
it
mocking
Thor
me.
looked like a pirate and an angel had a baby. That was like,
Like
he was,
the way that he idolized
he
him was
was-
amazing. It was
and
hilarious.
he knew he was
trying to
Asgardian as well.
Yeah.
So like they're like, oh yeah, talking about man's muscles and that.
trying to mock.
And Star-Lord is literally like, you can
just
see
feeling his inferiority.
his
just
ego's just gone, fam. Like,
Deflated.
like the
They said he was fat.
emasculation.
They told him
Yeah.
he was fat, bro.
They said he was one sandwich away from being fat.
Are you mocking?
And the wickedest thing is, I don't think he has put on weight, but I looked at him and for some reason,
Made you believe.
Yeah, it made me believe that he
was a
had
bit
put on
chubby,
weight.
yeah,
It
he
was
was
his
a bit
face.
chubby.
It
Yeah,
was
that
the
was
angle that they
he
did
was
it
chubby,
from. Like,
You looked a bit chubby.
I was like, oh, shag,
you're
man.
looking at Thor all
Been eating too many
vascular
space
and everything.
And then
Oh,
Thor just
man.
comes on, as soon as he wakes up, he just takes control of the
Yeah.
ship. He's literally like, this is mine.
Yeah.
This is mine.
Stealing
Mocking
your pot.
everyone.
What does this need?
I'm not saying-
A 4-digit
code or
code.
something.
The way that he's speaking
There
as
was
well.
a lot
that
of
was
humor
hilarious.
in there. Like I'm
Thor's
sure for
amazing.
you lot guys who saw it, the one of the funniest things was Star-Lord imitating Thor's accent. That was
Are you
just-
mocking me?
that was that, and then he's like, I
He's
talk
trying
like
to
this.
mock.
And they're like, no, you don't talk like that. And he's like, I do talk like this.
The way that he had to just bring it out, and Gamora touching his muscles and that, man,
Yeah.
man's still talking about it. He stood behind him. You see what he started? Man just,
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Like,
in between.
really tried to.
man talking about killing his parents and that. He's like, but I kept my both eyes and that. I was just like, oh,
Yeah, it was
it's like, take my dick out.
Yeah, the measuring,
Measuring.
Was hilarious. But also, I loved it because it was like one of those things where you think, oh, imagine if these guys, like, if we could actually get them on screen. And you get them on screen, and it works
Magical,
so
man.
well.
So, like,
And you're like,
organic,
imagine
like,
if
it
we
wasn't
had this
forced.
from earlier. But then it's like, the build-up itself was amazing.
It
Like,
added to it.
there was a lot of, just like, kind of like how these guys touched on, the dynamics, like meeting when Iron Man met Doctor Strange. Like loads of these encounters have been like encounters.
A lot of it, and
fans have waited for a long time to see.
Bro, there was even a time where it was like 90 minutes in the movie and some superheroes still haven't even met yet.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can you have a whole? You know what I'm saying?
And
That was
they
crazy.
branched them off. Like, what I thought when coming into the movie is that they're all going to be together at some
Yeah,
point. But
yeah.
some of them didn't actually even meet.
At all.
Yeah,
They're all on their own separate missions, all doing the same thing,
Like
all trying to
three
work
teams,
together,
yeah.
trying to take down Thanos in their own ways without even knowing what the other side is doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the
Without,
wickedest thing.
without knowing anybody else's
what
progress,
amazing.
without
Nothing.
knowing their
Tony
plan.
Stark went off in space and that was it.
Everybody on Earth had to just deal with. What
Yeah,
was
that was
happening.
it. Like, he never came back down, that was it.
Yeah.
Star-Lord hasn't been to Earth since he was a child.
So he's
Like,
talking about music as if it's still current and shit like that. It was just
Yeah.
crazy. Like,
Yeah.
movies and that.
And
Yeah.
you got Peter Parker, who's he's like a teenager, and this guy's giving him references like Kevin Bacon, and saying
Footloose.
is Footloose still the best movie?
It never was.
And he's like, it never was. And like those kind of dynamics and stuff that I feel like fans we've wanted to see. We didn't know that it was gonna happen. Like no one,
Nah.
like if you would have
organic
asked, what
way,
would you
man.
want from
It was so
Guardians and
organic.
the Avengers? I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, I want a conversation about Kevin Bacon, but
But
when
it
it
happened.
happened,
It was like, yeah, we
it was
needed
like,
that
yeah,
shit.
we needed that. It was so refreshing. It was so real. It let you know that it's still a universe and a reality that is relatable. Even though there's crazy stuff going on, there's still normal stuff like movies,
Happening,
pop
yeah.
culture,
Stuff like
that
that.
moves on,
That you can relate to.
that you can relate back to.
And plus, those moments did break up because there was a lot of intense action scenes,
Yeah.
and then those moments did break it up a little bit. It didn't slow the movie down at all.
Not at all.
It just gave you a little bit of a break because this movie was non-stop from beginning to end. just events.
What I found actually amazing, what you just said, Rashad, was that freaking the balance of it, but we still got character progression.
Yeah,
even though it was a break from the madness.
Kevin Feige said that this was going to be from Thanos' point of view. Yeah. Now I took that to mean like it was his story and it's just about what he's going to do and why he's doing it. It was to a certain extent, but it's more like you saw it from Thanos' perspective. No.
It's more of an insight into his point of view, more than from his point of view.
Because the movie didn't go along with what Thanos was doing. It was more about what the Avengers and what they were doing to stop him. But you did get a real feel of like who he is, why he was doing what he was doing, and what he killed.
It's like he was the main character, but like he wasn't at the same time.
We wasn't on his back the whole time. We wasn't following him around, which was good as well because it was like, what's he doing?
Because he literally went from place to place. As soon as he got the space stone from Loki,
he was in another place.
Sent them to straight to Earth, which got attacked straight away. He went somewhere else. He went to Nowhere.
Yeah.
Took Nowhere out. Yeah. Got the Reality Stone, which was an amazing.
They're constantly playing catch up as well, which adds to that.
The urgency
and the direness of the situation. Like you're seeing it on Earth, and you're seeing it. It's everywhere. You know what I mean? Like it's literally.
He's basically attacking everywhere at the same time.
At the
same time, because of his kids, because of his legions and that. Him personally going out and getting stones himself as well. Yeah. Like he's truly going out of his way to make sure that this mission is wrapped up quickly.
He says it many times. He made mistakes before and stuff. You know, he made errors.
As far as villain monologues go, I could listen to Thanos all day. I'm not even gonna lie. Like the way he
his words are pretty strong, man.
Yeah.
Thanos himself was very well developed. He didn't feel like an underdeveloped character at all. It wasn't completely his movie, but you got a real sense of who he was.
It's like I've seen him for the last 10 years of this whole
You've seen a glimpse of him, but this literally just told you who Thanos is.
Do you know how bad
and why he's doing what he's doing.
I didn't even know that he was in Guardians of the Galaxy 1 until I watched it again after. Yeah. I didn't even know he was in it.
Yeah, with Ronan and that. And
he's in it, like fully talking. It's Josh Brolin as well. It's the same actor.
Yeah.
So well done to Josh Brolin because that acting was that on point.
There's a bit where you see another side. There's various times you see another side of Thanos, which
he's not a one-dimensional character.
It drives the anti-hero so far. Like when you see.
He's not a villain. He's not a villain.
Like Hendry was saying, you see a flashback with him and Gamora when he first meets her. Yeah. If I could just talk about that for a little bit, he finds this girl. Like obviously, he's split. He's still on his quest has never changed. He's always wanted.
He's just been on a smaller scale.
Yeah, it's just been small scale because it's been him personally.
Murdering half of the population.
Yeah, and his armies like. But he's always tried to half the population at random. That's he says. He does it at fair. He doesn't pick it.
Not rich, not poor.
Not rich, not poor. At random, he will do half. And he's done it. He's doing it. He's in the middle of cleansing this planet that Gamora just happens to live on. And you can see a brief with her mother for the first time, which we've never seen before. Yeah. You get a brief glimpse of her mother, her people, her planet.
Gamora's an ugly child, you know.
She had no eyebrows. It was a bit mad.
She had a big forehead, fam.
Yeah. So yeah, so you see, they're in this courtyard. It's very Star Wars-esque. It's very It's very Phantom Menace-esque. You know, I was expecting to see Padme on the stairs or something like that.
It looked like Naboo still.
It really did look like Naboo. And then you see Thanos call over this girl. Do you know what I'm saying? This young Gamora, and he gives her this tiny little speech just to take her mind of all the madness. Like people get slaughtered over this guy's shoulder.
Well, she doesn't seem scared. She just seems worried about her mum.
Yeah, she was worried.
She went to Thanos and was like asking for help.
But she can sense the power and authority.
I know, but she didn't. She wasn't scared of him. She didn't. It's not like she had no fear. She didn't really. It's not like she blamed him for what was going on.
And not at the time, anyway. But I feel like, Thanos has this aura though that you don't immediately challenge him because he's not immediately threatening you. You know what I mean? So it's like especially being a child. She's got no power. She has to just be submissive. Do you know what I mean? So when he's saying, "Come here, my child," look at
why not? Why wouldn't she?
He would hold it with one finger, like
He's a big guy still.
And he gives her this dagger, and he's got a dagger that's like looks like a fidget spinner on his finger, and he gives it to her, and it's like a freaking short sword.
From like Kroll, bro.
Yeah.
Skyrim, bro.
And he's telling her, oh, focus, balance, to take her mind off, just as
the
he orders
ultimate.
his
That was, you know what I was
army-
like? You know Modern Warfare 2, yeah? You see when you have to kill all the Russians in the
Oh
airport?
yeah, they're dead.
Fam, it was gruesome, fam.
Yeah,
Slaughter.
Yeah, slaughter. It was an actual slaughter. And he just... But see that? It's
Kill the
double-sided
Russians,
because
when
it
you're
shows
Russian,
that he knew that seeing that would destroy her.
Yeah, it's not like he was
He's
like
not
sadistic.
he's not.
He knew
You
evil.
had a
Yeah.
level of empathy, yeah.
Yeah, he knew that that's not
Yeah.
something a child should see.
Exactly.
But it's something that also he knew should happen.
Yeah.
So he did a compromise by
Exactly.
stopping her from
By
seeing it
stopping her
and
from
still
seeing
doing
it.
it.
And like that's why even when he like there's a moment where he talks to Gamora and he says, "Oh, she's like, oh, I hate
Life
it
is a
here.
balance."
I hated this life."
And he knew it.
And he's like, "Oh, she's like, look what you did to me. You tore me apart and put all the." And he's like, "Yeah, and I made you the most fearsome woman in that universe,
whole galaxy,
in the
yeah.
galaxy." And like that's he genuinely felt like
And she goes,
doing the right
everything,
thing.
He did the right
everything
thing, like-
I hate about myself, you taught me. Like,
Yeah,
she
you put in
genuinely
like,
had resent for him in a way, but he's seen it as he
he
basically
made her
saved
strong
her. You know what I'm
because
saying?
Yeah.
the way
Retribution.
he looks at is strength is the ultimate ruling of power. They decide the strongest decide
survive, yeah.
because they
And they
have the
survive,
power to make it happen.
Because that's what he was saying about his destiny, that
Yeah.
if he basically was a titan on his planet that saw overpopulation and people not
Yeah.
being able to get food and stuff, and said half the planet needs to go, and he was criticized for it, and he
shunned,
feels
yeah.
he feels that he ignored his destiny then. He wasn't as willful as he is right now
And obviously his planet
And he's the
perished
only one
because
that
of
can
it.
see it and has the will
to do
Yeah,
it,
to
to
do so.
act. Yeah,
So
As
now
he
he
said,
feels
when
like
he said
there's
that,
a burden on his shoulders
that he
like,
has to
that
do
he
this
has
now.
to do.
Because he doesn't want anybody else to have to go through the same things that he did. And he even says to Gamora, like, he did that to her planet, but her planet now is a paradise.
Yeah. He was
No
saying,
one goes, no
he
one
was
goes
saying
without anything.
since it's happened,
Yeah, that's mad.
all the children on that planet know is sunny days and full bellies and space.
So
And
he
that
really a
is
bad
nuts. And from that level, it makes sense.
Like, do they worship him now? Do they not want him to come back? Like,
knows?
what's the status of
that the
Thanos on
government?
that
Because
planet?
people would remember the event,
Yeah, they'd be like,
but then also
the incident.
cannot deny the circumstances that followed.
Bountiful. Food aplenty, bro.
Obviously, Thanos confronting Gamora about her lying and knowing where the soul gem is. That was a bit mad because obviously he knew the information from before. Even got Nebula to show it up on a visual screen, so that was a bit mad. Like straight away putting it out. Obviously, at that point, let's get that soul stone. God damn.
In Vormir. It's in
Yeah.
Vormir.
So that
After
was a
the
bit
torture.
mad. Yeah, so literally gone straight there now. Greeted by Red Skull. I don't know, man. I'm not like, this is the only thing that I didn't really kind of like about the film. So Red Skull, obviously Captain America at the end of it, you've seen that he's been taken by the Tesseract. Probably we assumed he was all dead, like, do you know what I mean? But clearly the Tesseract, which is aka the Space Stone, has transported him to the Soul Gem, where he, for some reason, has obtained powers of flight. So he's
levitation.
He's
a Dementor.
He's a Dementor at this point. So yeah, he had his German accent, so we automatically knew it was Red Skull until he shows his red face and we see, oh my god, it's Red Skull. But yeah, so that was kind of crazy. That was a bit mad.
And we was in a good cinema as well because a lot of people actually, there was a lot of sort of gasps.
So yeah, like I don't know, man. I wasn't too sure. Yeah. So the Soul Gem apparently can banish you to its location and like make you its guardian
For one person only. And although there's been many that have come and tried and failed to hold the stone, but yeah,
But yeah,
anyways,
so
somehow it's
that
still,
was a bit weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool. So he's the keeper of the Soul Gem, and he explains to Thanos that he needs sacrifice. This is the price of the Soul Stone.
a very heartfelt moment of the movie.
Mad,
Very
mad heartfelt, because that's the first time you see Thanos shedding tears. Gamora thinks he's lying.
She starts
And
laughing
he-
at the ideas.
And yeah,
It's very heartfelt.
Red Skull explains that you must
Those are
sacrifice
not-
the soul of the one you love. So basically, he literally grabs Gamora, pulling her. She's
Slow
fighting
motion
against
as well.
it. She's saying you don't
Wow.
love anyone. She's happy. She's laughing at first because she thinks that there is nothing that can actually make him
He's not going to
feel
win.
that kind
He's
of
not gonna
emotion.
win. Yeah, he's not going to win.
That's it.
He's
It's
lost the
done.
war. Yeah.
And that is a point where you realise Thanos actually is capable of compassion, and he throws her over and kills her, bro.
Death.
Mad.
Gets the stone, wakes up, gets the stone. You already know it's on now. At this point, how many more stones did he? Oh no, that was the last.
No, he needed the mind one left, and that was So he had one more stone to go and time one. So
he had two more stones at this point.
So he needed Doctor Strange, and he needed
Vision. Yeah, cool.
Vision.
So two stones left at this point.
To be honest, Marvel handled this very well. There's a lot of characters on screen at the same time. There's a lot of characters involved in this movie. I feel like they balanced everyone pretty well. Not a lot of characters, or some of your favourite characters might not have got the most screen time as you would have thought, like Cap, Black Panther, but everyone had their little moment to shine.
Groot even had his little thing, you know what I'm saying? He actually played an influential part, and he only had one part, which was, making the axe for Thor's hammer.
Fuck Groot! Yeah, Groot was annoying. Groot annoyed me throughout the most.
I kind of like Groot, man. I can't lie, man.
I liked Groot before this movie because obviously he's a teenager and he's surly and he's rebellious and that sort of thing. But he didn't seem to care about anything. And the fact that after Thor took the sun to his chest, which was mad in itself, Groot decides to help him by Tyrion Lannister, Peter Dinklage was in the movie, looking for the handle of the axe. But Groot, for some strange reason, decided to then use his own wood, his organic wood, to make the handle of the axe. Yeah. Which I didn't understand it because obviously Thor's dying now because he's burnt up. But Groot didn't have any motivation to help him. He didn't know who this guy was. He didn't have any rapport built with him. So the fact that he went throughout the whole movie not caring about anything, but then decided to care at that point.
That's true.
Like, I'd even like it if Rocket was like, "Come on, Groot, like you have to help him," like sort of thing, something like that. That's what I'm saying. That would have made him spur him on. But he did it of his own volition, and it's like, what motivation did you have to do in the first place? It's not a major gripe. It's just something that I thought could have been done a little bit better.
Had to fucking get in on this one.
So there's two battles that happened simultaneously, and it was much better than Civil War in the sense that the stakes were too high at this point. Thanos only needs 2 more stones. So the battle on Wakanda is where Vision is hiding out. Mm-hmm. The Black Order, Proxima Midnight, and what's his name? Black Dwarf. The battle on Titan was Star-Lord and most of the Guardians.
My favourite battle.
Tony Stark, Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man all trying to get the gauntlet of Thanos. Trying to get the gauntlet of Thanos.
Peter Quill was the one who actually arranged the plan to try and get it off, which was like shit.
Okay.
Considering Guardians have been pretty impulsive up until this point, and they actually haven't really had much of a game plan in general at all. It was a pretty good plan of Peter that he thought of,
which he managed to fuck up himself.
You see Star-Lord actually doing quite a bit, like in ingenuity wise. Obviously, considering he's the only one that's fighting without armor. And he's invulnerable. He's a normal human. He was being quite tactful. Like, do you know what I mean? He put a couple charges on Thanos on his back and that.
As well,
he did quite a bit. So Star-Lord is doing bits. Like, do you know what I mean?
Which just made it so much more painful when he finds out that Gamora's dead, because they're just about to get the glove off.
Mantis is on his head. Man, Star-Lord obviously kind of got a bit ahead of himself, and as him finding out that Gamora was dead, he had a mad little bit where he just jeopardized the whole plan that Peter put together. It was crazy, and
he just had to wait a second more.
Do you know what I mean? It's not that I didn't like this little bit, but
it was
to save me not being annoyed at Star-Lord. It could have gone a different way. Like I would have liked also if he found out and completely broke down. Like, say if he needed to do something, like he also, like, they didn't have the manpower, just Tony and Peter, and they needed him also to pull. But like he finds out and like
he can't help out.
And he just like he can't. He's frozen. Do you know what I mean? Like I would have liked that also. I would have liked that. Like maybe, do you know what I'm saying? Like he just can't believe it. Drops to his knees, whatever. But he's just more heartbroken instead of like acts out on rage, because the rage, it really like the stakes of the situation was like there needs to be consequences for that, because
no one's
gonna forget that.
When he found out his dad killed his mum, he blasted him off straight away, instantly.
You know, he's the first time he's ever met Peter, first time he's ever met Tony, and that like raw, like that. As far as impressions go, I'm sure Tony's gonna remember that, bro.
Because Tony had to physically
now
restrain him.
Yeah.
And as he's beating on Thanos' face.
Do you know what I mean?
And just jeopardize the whole
I understand
that he put together.
And now you gotta understand, obviously, you've seen the end of the movie, yeah. You know that Tony is left and a lot of people are not. And he's like, raw, none of this shit would have fucking happened if Starlord just played his part, do you know what I mean? So that is like, there needs to be kind of consequences.
Can we talk about Tony's performance against Thanos?
It was one of the best. It's probably the best fight.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best fights I've seen in Marvel. To be fair,
because Tony,
that was amazing, bro.
Utilizes his suit.
Oh, you see the full power of the suit.
Yeah,
man goes in every single way.
He did not give up.
He gave it, like, the bit that stands out to me most was the back kick, the spinning back kick, where he clamps Thanos' fucking hand down and
with a piece of his
bangs
suit
him, bro.
that he leaves there because he sacrifices that piece of his suit to hold him there.
And that's the ingenuity of Tony. The thing about Thanos, and the Infinity Gauntlet is that there was a little cheat because he had to actually clench his fist.
He has to clench his fist. Is
So
that in the comic?
I don't really think so. I think he just activates it with his mind. But in this, to nerf it just a little bit, he has to clench his fist.
In the comics, he has to still do something though, like, because I know, like, he clicks his fingers and stuff like that, and he does stuff like that.
Which is fair enough. Okay. Cool.
When he does, like, turn, like, I remember in the comics he turned, like, Wolverine into, like, spaghetti and stuff like that. His hand was clenched, so I don't know.
Maybe it is in the comics, but obviously that means that Tony knew 100% he can't clench his fist. If he's gonna win this fight with Thanos, he can't be using that gauntlet.
You saw Tony now. Okay, like, I spoke to Rashad about this. So Tony, in actuality, has left Pepper in the park, yeah? This is the last point where you see him. He leaves there. He goes with Doctor Strange, yeah? They go into the ship, yeah? And continuing on, he starts to fight Thanos, yeah? Now, he builds something out of nanotech that actually clamps down onto Thanos' glove, stopping him from closing his fist. Tony didn't have no time to make that shit. That is off the dome. Yeah. That is off the dome. Like, he's just made that shit specifically for Thanos in the fight, bro.
Also, it shows the level of tech, like his tech. Yeah. Him and his suit are one now.
No,
like,
yes.
It's not like, Jarvis, what's happening? Or Friday, what's going on? Like, it's like, now, what he wants to happen happens now.
Yeah.
And, like, the way he used his suit, there's one bit, like, I know you mentioned the clamp and all of that, but there's one thing that no one's mentioned yet. And it's when his two legs turn into one booster, fam.
Man's moving like fucking, what's it?
Friday, give me
Superboy.
Man come like Astro Boy.
Astro Boy, that's it.
What? Man went like, fam. And it was one whole jet, like a jet.
Yeah,
like, it was...
Too OP. If he had this suit in any one of the movies beforehand,
they would have been a quick movie. That's saying that.
So Tony loses the fight. He gets stabbed, and you feel it because he put his all into this fight, and he still loses. And I thought he was gonna die. I was literally like, "This is how Tony Stark dies." And even Thanos, he just acknowledges him. He's just like, "I respect you, Stark." He's talking about knowledge, and then he's like, "When I'm done, half of humanity will still be alive, and I hope they remember you." And
powerful. Oh my
even the
Lord.
fact that even before the battle, he mentions Tony by name. And he says,
he knows a lot about everything to
and
be
and he says, "You're not the only one cursed with knowledge." Bro.
Yeah.
Being recognised by him in that aspect is crazy. Bro.
Like, imagine that. This person who's threatening your freaking universe, planet, galaxy, all of that.
And Tony
and he's like, "Yeah, I rate you as an individual though, but I'm still gonna destroy everything."
That's just the respect, but as a warrior, Thanos has for him because. Hulk didn't stand that much of a chance. He didn't put in that much of a fight against him. And Tony was there. He got a moon dashed at him and was still alive. And
Thanos was playing with them though.
He was playing around because he could have killed them all instantly, to be honest. But I think Thanos just likes battle. And he was so close to his goal. He's like, why not have some fun at this point? You know what I mean? But Doctor Strange also went through about 40 million different possibilities where they all lost. They only won in one.
Only the one.
So I'm only assuming that this possibility can only occur if everyone dies but Tony Stark. Tony is the key to defeating Thanos in some way, which we're going to have to wait a whole year to find out. But you can see it in him.
And even when he dies, he says it was the only way.
He said we're in the end game.
He says we're in the end game now.
They're the final part of it.
Which
so.
which is why I mentioned consequence, because that total, like, if you look at the double ending of that, like the weight that is there, that Doctor Strange understands, everybody understands, and then that is like thrown out the window when Star-Lord just loses his mind. And it's like wow, like that's why
he has to pay for this.
That's why I feel like he needs some kind of reprimand. I mean, like, they need to, at least in the next thing, they need to mention it, like shout at him or something, say he's foolish, or like they can't. Man,
they all dead, man. Everybody dead.
And the thing about everybody being dead is on Wakanda is Vision, and he convinces Scarlet Witch to kill him. Now it was kind of perverted the way that Vision convinced his woman to kill him. Thanos comes and undoes that shit right in front of her. He's talking to her.
She felt that grief.
You know what I'm saying?
For no
reason, bro.
She had to kill him for no reason.
He touches her head and he's like, I understand how you feel. Like, I've had loss today.
Just goes into his head and just
it's
pops
not,
it off.
Yeah, it's not even like pops off. Like, she struggled. She's doing it all meticulously. She's like taking out all the freaking molecular structure of this stone, trying to freaking get it done, and like even that afterwards, you see man goes all grey and that. It's like
he
confiscated
his life.
He rewind that time, remix to Ignition, and you see he's like holding it, and then man gives up on.
Fingers are too big.
Bro, man gives up on trying to take it out gently. His whole fingers craters his forehead.
Craters his forehead.
He takes it, confiscated, gone. And she's there like, and like you said, he was like, oh, I know how you feel. It's been, today has took a terrible toll on us all. I felt lost today too.
Because he has, because even when Ebony Moore dies, he feels that as well.
He felt it.
He cares about these people.
Even though that was by his own hand.
Yeah, he cares about these people. I don't think he cares about Nebula as much, but he cares about the rest of them.
We don't care about Nebula, man.
Nebula is just a waste of parts to him now. So on Wakanda, we've got the remaining Avengers, the Wakandans, T'Challa, all of them there fighting together, and it's amazing to see on screen just the ensemble of characters, everyone that you don't really think would have met, like Okoye and Scarlet Witch, all getting along and saving each other in battle and shit. Like, it was just so organic that the way that happened, and it blended very well. Like, I enjoyed that.
Could I also talk about the ferocity of these aliens? Which was loved crazy. That. Like, I loved how they knew this was for us. Like, the kids were not. This was not for the children.
Nah.
They literally because when I first saw that, and they come up to the force field of Wakanda, and I saw the ferocity, and they're forcing themselves through a force line, and they're getting chopped in half.
But it's not going. It's like
getting burned up, and it's like, wow, these lot are legit an alien race that has come to decimate this whole place, man.
And they don't care how many people they lose to do it. It's just
this is when it's like, oh, you heard about the stakes? Now you're seeing the stakes. You know what I mean? It's like, we heard, it's going to be terrible when it comes. And when it came, it was terrible. And then when we got the Avengers, like Rashad was saying, we got the ensemble back in action from, I don't know, since Age of Ultron or something like that, is like,
seeing War Machine, you're seeing Falcon,
and they're all like having their little one-liners to each other.
They're all doing something. No one's just left in the background. Even Banner's in the Hulkbuster suit because he's trying to.
He's having a whale of a time.
So he's trying, but Hulk's still not coming out.
Yeah,
they did very well against the Black Order, though. They did.
And then Thor came in with a quick scope.
Yeah,
just summon the Bifrost. The Bifrost.
Come on a godly. When we're talking like the levels were there, like the ratio of power scale was so lovely across the board. When you saw Thor in God mode, because obviously he found that he could do that in Ragnarok, you know what I mean? Like, and now like he's come to terms with like man has to do that now.
Then you see as Thanos rips the last Mind Stone from Vision's head and he puts it down. He shoots a unibeam because he sees Thor coming, and you see
that's all the energy,
the level,
all stones.
You see the level, of Stormbreaker, and it slices straight through.
It kept coming
all
down.
of them, bro.
Didn't stop.
Now that is the most powerful Thanos has been at any point in this film.
Yeah,
and that axe went straight through it,
moving like some nth metal.
Which is realistic, because if you check it, Hela, bruv, Hela gave Asgard all the riches that they have. She conquered the 9 realms, and Thor defeated her. So
yeah, technically.
Or did he?
Yeah, or did he? Or did he?
Or did Saturn defeat her
Yes.
for him? You could argue.
you could argue that.
And Thor ran away from his own planet and sacrificed it because he was scared of his sister.
You
could argue.
You could argue that.
Thanos snaps his fingers, says, "You should have gone for my head," which means that he still can be killed. He's got the Infinity Gauntlet, but he still can be killed. That Thor just didn't do it right. He had his chance, he took it, he shot his shot, and it just didn't work. So he snaps his fingers, and
people start turning into freaking ash.
A very heartfelt moment when you see everybody turn to dust on Titan, all the Guardians go.
Especially Peter. Peter was the one who got me, because I was just like, you could tell he's still a little...
He was scared.
That was weird.
And I was scared for him.
I was just like, no, Peter, no! Everybody else is fine.
Yeah, man.
Everybody else
I was
died.
like, Tony, I don't feel so good.
Yeah. Even Star-Lord was like,
Why
oh
was
no. And like,
he was holding on by sheer will.
He stayed the longest.
Mad. He stayed the longest out of everybody.
Only to die in Tony's arms, which is what Tony's fear is. And he was left alone. He only had Nebula on Titan with him. And it should already count, bro.
Everybody else, Black Panther's gone.
Nebula will get him off that planet, though.
That's cool. She will.
And Thor now has access to the Bifrost.
So he can go anywhere he wants, but as it stands now, half of all life in the universe has been wiped out.
So wait, hold on. We're going to do ratings now then, yeah? So, your rating is?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. See?
I'm giving that a 10. As far as Marvel goes, like, that is the best thing Marvel's done, and Marvel do great movies. So, what else can I say? I mean, there was only two things that I didn't like, but they're not weighty enough for me to drop it back down.
Hendry, what is your...
I'm giving that bitch 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
No flaws, no faults.
And I'm going to end it on a fucking heavy 11 out of fucking 10.
Yeah,
Broke
bitch.
every expectation I had for this film.
Turn that shit up to
Fucking
11.
banging.
I just can't wait.
Infinity War, guys.
Part
Infinity
2
War, guys.
will be a madness.
Anyways, guys, that was our thoughts on the Avengers Infinity War extravaganza that it was, the emotional roller coaster that it was. Let me know down in the comments what you guys thought. Did you like it? What's going to happen in the new movie? Leave a like, as usual, for your new subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Turn about the fucking flat.